Welcome to the Ruden Report podcast. I'm Dave Ruden. We're here for episode number 2 this spring. And as I mentioned in the first episode, kind of want to use the podcast this spring to explore all sports and not just talk to coaches, talk to players and talk to newsmakers in a timely manner as well. And I don't think after 1 week of the FCX season, there's a bigger newsmaker than my guest right now. We had Thursday night in Darien, the Blue Wave boys lacrosse team with a big 12-11 win over Brunswick, the number 1 team in the country. And the winning goal came with 1.7 seconds left from Brady Pokorny. And Brady's joining me right now. Brady, thanks a lot for taking the time. How you doing?
Good. How are you? No problem.
I'm doing all right. So you had you've played a game since then, which we'll talk about. That didn't fare quite as well, but the day or two after that game, what was it like with that dramatic finish and that atmosphere? Because you had a lot of people at that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing for the team. It really boosted our morale. We got really excited, proud of each other. And it was a great accomplishment of what we've really been working on for the past couple months.
It kind of seemed like you guys had like a little chip on your shoulder that, it's unlike talking to you and talking to Mac and a couple of the other guys. Everybody was telling you had no chance of winning, that even people at your school were telling you that you had no chance of winning, and you guys were getting a little tired of it and decided you were going to go out there and show, you did have a chance to win.
Yeah, I really think I contribute those doubters really to our success. We really had nothing to lose really within those first 2 games. And, it really gave us an extra edge on really wanting to win and prove to everyone else how good we are.
Have you guys really heard it a lot from people that you're obviously you've lost a lot of people. So, and there are a lot of people playing now that we just don't know yet. But have you guys been getting a lot of, when they talk about you guys being down, it's not like you're going to be scrambling to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
It means maybe you won't roll to a title, but have you guys heard a lot of criticism or just negative vibes?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know how to put it, we don't have as many commits. We don't have as much star power, quote unquote. But we work better as a team, and we really help each other out, and we've been playing good. So
let's talk about the game a little bit. I mean, first of all, the ending, you got to start there. A timeout with 21 seconds to go. And from talking to you and talking to Coach Jeff Braymeyer, I guess, the play was set up for you to make a run. And I guess originally it was for you to get a little bit closer to the goal to shoot than you were able to. But take me through the play, because that was almost like a basketball March Madness play where the team called the timeout and they need a 3-point shot to win. And, Brady Pokorny got the ball in his hands and swishes one. So take me through what was supposed to happen and what did happen.
So originally I thought that the ball was over the 50. So I was going to carry it over to the other side of the box and dodge down the alley for a lefty shot or dump it to Porter Barnett for a back cut. But it was on the other side of the 50, so I had to split the ride. So I split that, and then I kind of lost track of time, so I started jogging. And then everyone was yelling at me to shoot and go. And I looked at because I needed to get a touch, so I got a touch, and there was 10 seconds left. And I kind of just tried to get to the middle because I saw he was kind of showing it. And I've been working on that righty jumper, surprisingly, and just got to the middle and just let it rip. So.
I mean, you couldn't have placed it any better. Maybe if you don't place it where you did, the goalie makes a save. And everybody was saying the goalie was surprised because you were shooting from that far out. I saw people saying that. I don't think with 1.7 seconds left, the goalie was surprised by any goal. I think it just seemed like you placed it in a perfect spot.
Yeah, really all throughout my career, my placement has been better than my power. And I actually I think there was like actually a little arc to my shot. And I actually think it ended up helping me because I literally think it like arced over his stick really and got in the corner.
Realistically, with how far you had to go from where you started and how much time was left, how much I'm guessing it was about 20 yards you shot from. Were you hoping to get like about 5 more yards closer or so?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I really just wanted to get my hands free. Yeah, the shot was a little bit inside the box. So yeah, about 20.
What's that feeling like when when you saw it go in the goal?
Oh, it was insane. I didn't know it went in originally. And the place just erupted and all my teammates came running into me. So
Is that a favorite goal of yours? I don't remember if you scored any dramatic ones in playoffs, but that your favorite goal right now at this point in your career?
yeah, it's gotta be up there, yeah. Especially with like the level of talent against the other team. So
What were you guys able to do? I mean, that's just like a high school all-star team on the other side of the field. What were you guys able to do to put yourselves in a position to and then win the game?
we really knew how good they were and understood that they could easily on a run. I think it was at the first half. We were up 8-3, and we were very aware that they can easily come back and win. And just like freshman year, we were up 4-0 first quarter, and then I think half we ended up being down, and that game ended in overtime in their favor. And we were just really conscious of the fact of how good they were, and we really played it smart and tried to value the ball and try to score.
Were you surprised? I mean, they dominated faceoffs the whole night and in the first half, and they were a little sloppy with some turnovers. And then you guys just went on that run to get the lead. When you're up 5 goals like that, are you surprised? Kind of surreal. We're really beating the number one team in the country by 5 goals.
Yeah, it started off with really a bit of a surprise, but it kind of turned into confidence, and it kind of turned into like, yeah, we can do this. Like it's not like a weird reason of why this is happening. I really do think we deserve this while we're up. So
I thought the real key to the game, everybody knew they were going to make a run, and they did. At the end of the third quarter, now it's 9-9, and I think at that point, a lot of people in the stands are probably saying, "Well, we're going to be congratulating Darien on a really good first half effort." But after 9-9, after the break, you guys really stabilized the game. You scored your second goal to make it 10-9. I thought you guys scoring and not let them continuing the run from the third quarter really was the key to putting you in a position to be able to win the game, not letting them, score another 3 or 4 goals and make it a comfortable win for them.
yeah, our defense is great with pressure on the ball. We have great one-on-one defenders, and it really works great against a team like that where it's like so much star power and like so much one-on-one dodging, where our defense plays such a huge role and is able to stop runs.
I think your defense got overlooked in that game. Whenever somebody scores the kind of goal you did, that's going to be the focus and beating number one. But giving the way possession was with the draws, your defense just did an absolute phenomenal job to keep the score close.
Yeah, it was crazy. We were really relying on 6-on-6 offense or defense, and they just came up huge. And Carter played great. All the defenders. I think Carter had like 15 saves or something. So he went from 21 saves versus prep to 15, which was two amazing games.
Yeah, he's I don't know how much people really know about him, but they're gonna know. If they don't now, they're gonna know. He's just got really good reflexes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Is defense what you think's gonna be a big part of the team's success this year? That after a couple of games looks like it's one of the strengths.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have I mean, in Darien history, I think we have one of the deepest defenses. I think we can have our second line, like maybe third line out there and be just as good. It's really up to leadership and IQ at this point. All of them are insane one-on-one defenders. which helps a lot on the offensive side during practice too, because we're going against the best in the SEAC. So it really benefits us in both ways.
It had to be sometimes for Darien, the way they support sports in terms of the fields and everything, getting all you what you guys need. It's kind of I always like to call it like the University of Darien because of what you guys have, but because of that and with DAF, I think sometimes maybe you don't get the crowds that you should have because people can watch the high quality broadcast of the game, but that just seemed to be like a perfect night for you. It was the day right before our long holiday weekend and right before a school vacation. So it was a perfect night for everybody to come out. And you had one of the biggest crowds I can remember there. So for you guys to do that in front of the crowd had to be really cool.
Yeah, that really stems from like just the overall like bond, the lacrosse team has with the school. And it hasn't always been like that in the past, but like I'm not saying it was terrible in the past, but I think lacrosse guys really have a great bond with, students and the other student athletes. And it was a perfect mix of, the night before break, holiday weekend, and it's perfect weather. So
I thought one of the things that was cool is you just had like a rush of youth players, and youth players were trying to get pictures with any one of you that would pose for a picture with them. I mean, it was almost like people looking up to college players or professional players. That had to be a cool feeling too.
yeah, the youth program is awesome. We help out a ton. The day before, we helped run a clinic, and I give personal clinics to a ton of them, and so I know a good amount of them. And they just support us so much, and so grateful because when I was a kid, I would always like look up to the big high school guys and think they're the coolest. So
That's what I was going to ask you is how much do you think the success that the program's had and being nationally recognized, how much does that make it appealing for, for kids to want to get into the youth program in lacrosse as maybe opposed to a different sport?
yeah, the culture here is insane. Really, just like the connection between the high school team and the youth levels, especially in the past couple of years, they've ramped it up. But like just even being in contact with like your favorite high school player is like life changing, really, as a kid. Like in Blue Wave buddies, like first grade, second grade, meeting like the player you watch on TV. It's
Really?
really, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
Who did you idolize when you were growing up?
mine must have been Colin Minicus.
Okay, good choice.
Yeah,
uh, but yeah, it just obviously if you have a good youth program, that's your feeder system, and it just really it's like it's a program. There are places that have a lot of long-term success that are teams, and Darien, it's really a program starting from I don't know how old you guys are when you pick up a stick from the first time to being out on the field and doing what you did Thursday night.
yeah, yeah. I started around, I think kindergarten. I think Blue Wave buddy starts kindergarten, first and
Wow.
second, and then with clubs, with club teams getting younger, they really start playing year round from elementary school. So it's great.
When you're a kid, is lacrosse as big as football?
I didn't play football until sixth grade, me
But yeah,
personally.
but just in terms of growing up and everything, do you think people view the young boys view lacrosse the same way they view football?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, elementary school kids definitely. I think like the national ranking aspect kind of different like makes it different, but like it's still like watching the Turkey Bowl as a kid, like that's like a tradition. It's culture. It's just the culture in Darien. It's crazy.
And I agree with you. I think it's the lacrosse is just a little different because you get a national perspective that you don't get in most other sports. Uh, let's just quickly because I know you're not going to want to talk a lot about this, but then you come back a day and a half later Saturday and you play you go to Manhasset and you suffer an 11-2 loss. How much of that was Manhasset being good? How much of that was you guys not playing well? And Do you think swelled heads from Thursday played a part in it at all?
Um, you know, kind of hard to say, but they're a great team. We didn't play our best, and the the confidence carrying over Brunswick did play a little bit of a role, but not like that. Our captains were like pushing the fact that we should not be worrying about Brunswick and it's over. We should be focused. So I had a general idea that we were pretty focused, but we just couldn't handle like the run they were on. They're a very great team, and after first quarter, I think it was 6-0, and it was just hard to bounce back from. And unfortunately, we didn't. So
What about this team? There are a lot of guys back that we know, and there are a lot of guys playing now we don't know. So you know, I want to know. Everybody else wants to know. Tell us a little bit about this team. What are the strengths? What are some of the positives about this team that we may not know about yet because you've only played 3 games?
the positiveness is like the learning off of each other. I think we learn something new every day about each other, and we all know our tendencies and what we like to do on the field, and we really build off each other. There's no like bashing heads. There's a ton of like constructive criticism, and people like a lot of people taking it to heart and using it and benefiting. So I think like our communication is our best asset on the team.
Is this one of those teams where you just don't have players that played a lot? They're good players. We just don't know them yet.
Yeah, they're all good players. A couple of them got a little bit of playing time, sophomores last year, but yeah, we have a lot of new players, new experience, and they're doing great.
What's that like for you? I mean, it seems like you've been there 6 years already, just because of how well you've played. But how's the team different this year? I mean, you're a junior and you're in a leadership role right now, where you were on real veteran teams your first 2 years.
Yeah, again, the communication is just like the communication me, Dylan, and Porter have. We all agree with each other, but at the same time, like we learn from each other's like mistakes, and we learn from like missed plays and missed opportunities. And it's just like really something that the last teams I've been a part of did not have, where it's like, oh, like you need to move, and they're like, no, like it's like kind of like a very like accepting like team, and really changes on the fly quick.
This is going to be an interesting week for you. You've got Ludlow on Tuesday, and then you guys play as demanding the schedule as anyone. You have Chaminade coming here on Thursday. I know you'll have a good scouting report by then. Do you know anything about them yet? Again, I know you still got one team you're not going to look past first.
Yeah, Fairfield Ludlow is a great team. Yeah, we got to work hard not to overlook them. Chaminade is also a great team. We're pretty familiar with Ludlow. We know some of the guys. They're a decently young team. In Chaminade, they have like the star power that Brunswick has. It's similar, and a lot of us know some of the players from club, like the club circuits, and we're just really excited though. We take it as a huge honor that we're able to play these teams.
And then a game, I'm assuming you guys have had circled on your calendar for some time now. You go to Staples Saturday, a rematch of that state championship game that I know you guys would like to have back. What about playing Staples Saturday?
Yeah, that's another huge game. We're super pumped up about that. Coach B's been bringing that up the past months, so he's really good after them.
Is that something that's been talked about? Well, first of all, I mean, every game's a big game, but is it, given what's happened, is there a difference between when you play a really good FCAC team and when you play one of these national powers that that you're on a par with, but you don't really know people as well as you know people here? Is there a difference between a really big non-league and a really big league game?
Yeah, I think the level of competitiveness from like the start is way higher than those out of conference games. There is like there's a history, there's a huge history, and it plays a huge part of like right off the first whistle, like we want to win and we really want to like not that we don't want to win every game, but
Right.
like really like just take like give it to them. So
Will there be a little bit of a different vibe before Staples than there was for some of these other non-league powers that you've played?
yeah, I think Staples will be much more competitive, will be much more dialed in, and hopefully we can get the win against such a great team.
What was that game like last year? I mean, that was the final game of the entire school year, and uh, I don't think there was a more shocking game. Yeah, they upset you, and that was a surprise. But the fact that they dominated you like they did was completely shocking. I remember standing with some of the game time guys, and we were in as much disbelief as everybody. What happened in that game?
And it was actually really similar to the Manhasset game. I think it was just right off the first whistle. A quick start, and I think we were really thrown off like our train of thought, lost focus, and we couldn't really recover. They were too good of a team to recover with.
I mean, you just kept falling behind, and I know I'm saying, okay, well, the run's going to come, and then they'd score another goal, and then they'd score another goal. And was that one of the hardest defeats you've ever had to suffer?
Yeah, it was almost like surreal. It was like really like Darien has such a history of winning. It's uncommon to lose by that margin also. And we were kind of waiting for the run too. We were like, all right, like it's fine, like we'll score, like we'll get back up there. And when it never came, it was fourth quarter, like 3 minutes left. Me and Minnow kind of looked at each other. We're like, oh, like we're like,
It's
it was
not
tough.
common.
Yeah,
So that's I mean that's a great thing about FCX lacrosse. You have a big you have these big league games, but you've got the Brunswicks and the Chaminades and the Manhassets sprinkled in. So for you guys, you never get a break. There's never a game where you're gonna come out of the game after the first quarter because you're blowing the other team out so much.
yeah. I think it's a great opportunity. I don't like many other kids, high school kids, can say that, especially public school kids, can say that they play top 10 teams like consistently.
So what do you think? What's the outlook for the team? Is everybody been underrating you guys, and you're confident about? You've already got two FCAC titles under your belt, but you don't have, you personally, I mean, the junior class, but you don't have a state title yet.
Yeah, the whole team is really, our whole motto is end in a pile. It's our group chat name. It's like really our culture, and we strive for that every year. And unfortunately, we've came up short both years. So we're really looking forward to ending the pile this year.
That's really the group chat name.
Yeah, it's pile. Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
yeah,
I always loved Jeff over the year, always talking about the pile, the pile, the pile. And
yeah,
anybody who's interviewing him for the first time has no idea what he's talking about.
yeah,
But in Darien, if you don't have the pile, you haven't had a good season.
yeah. No,
And hopefully two piles. But
yeah,
obviously the last one's the biggest.
yeah.
All right. Well, Brady, I appreciate you taking a little bit of time here to talk to me. Congratulations. Every athlete should get a moment like you got on Thursday. So that was really cool to watch. And congratulations on that. And I wish you and the guys a lot of success this season. I'll be seeing you. I may come down to Chaminade. I don't know yet, but I'll definitely be seeing you Saturday afternoon in Westport. So thanks a lot, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
And that's this week's episode of the Ruden Report podcast. Again, I want to thank Brady Pokorny for joining me. I want to thank Cooper Boardman for the sound editing, and we'll be back with another episode real soon.